Hello everyone. Today we're going to be doing a quick video that adds on to the pilot Varsity disposable fountain pen review that we did a little while back. A few of you have been asking about the bleed through of the pen, so I figured rather than just answer questions, I figured it's best to kind of give it a real world test and see how it does. So let's check out how the pen bleeds through to the other side of the paper when we write with it. So we just did a little writing, the alphabet, and this is pen reviews today. If you look, it's not terrible actually, despite the fact that the ink comes out pretty thick and bold. We do get some bleed through, but it's not horrible. I was pressing down about average, not too hard, not too light. We'd kind of get it right after we picked the pen up from the paper and kind of put it back on, and we're trailing off a line or something like that. So let's do a little light writing here. You can see if we press down lightly, the bleed through is little to none. Again, we get it more when we're doing printing and writing kind of a line, then picking the pen up from the paper, putting it back, writing another line. When we're writing more cursive and we're just keeping the pen on the paper, it seems to be a little bit less. So with medium, one thing to note, even if I, just kind of press down very light versus pressing down kind of medium on the paper, the lines still come out just as dark and clear. The only difference is I think a little bit more ink comes out when I press down a little bit harder. So the lines just wind up looking a tiny bit thicker, but there's not too much of a difference. Bleed through is a bit more noticeable, if you can see here. Same spots, it mostly came out more on the straight lines that we were writing, more printing. It was a little bit more noticeable. So we'll really write heavy on the paper now, and we'll see how that does. And as you can see, when I really write down heavy on the paper, the bleed through gets significantly worse. It comes through at almost all points there, and at some spots again where I was kind of printing, it was a little bit more noticeable. But almost every word has at least a few portions where the ink bleeds through to the other side. So once we're pressing down heavy like that, then it does get to the point where you can really, almost all of it bleeds through to the other side. It's not terrible in that it's coming right through if you were writing on the other side, but it's more than noticeable there. We did some writing prior just to confirm. Again, light, medium, heavy. And again, you can see the bleed through get progressively worse, as we wrote a little bit harder. The printing kind of is where the bleed through always came through. With more cursive writing, it took the heavier writing to really get the ink to come through to the other side of the paper. So overall, I would say moderate bleed through. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. So if this was anything where you wanted to write on the other side of the paper, this really wouldn't be a good pen to use for that. And we're just using here just regular multi-purpose copy paper. It's a 96 brightness, 20 pound. So, I mean, obviously depending on the paper you're using, it might be a little bit more or less. If you're writing in a notebook with very thin lined pages, it would be more. If you were writing on kind of in a notebook with, thicker paper, then, the bleed through will be a little bit less noticeable, but it is there. So, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.